The wedding cruise never sailed. Not a single guest knew why. News helicopters circled the Miami harbor for hours that evening, hovering over the floating palace that never moved. The bride sobbed in her designer gown. The groom disappeared before midnight. And somewhere on that billion-dollar ship, the girl they all called useless had vanished, leaving only a single envelope behind. It read, "You never saw me, but today, you will. E.C." Her name was Emily Carter. And until that night, she was just the quiet girl in the background. The overlooked sister. The family's invisible thread, expected to hold everyone together, yet never be noticed. What no one realized was that Emily had spent her whole life preparing for this moment. The moment she would finally rewrite the story they told about her. 24 hours earlier. The Luna Queen shimmered like a floating dream, 120 luxury suites, diamond chandeliers, a helipad, 5 Michelin-starred chefs, and a ballroom larger than most hotels. Everything was perfect. Every seat had a name card. Every guest had a custom gift. Every minute was scheduled. Except for what was about to happen. Emily Carter arrived unnoticed through the staff entrance. She wore no jewelry, no heels, no entourage. Just a black coat, a leather notebook in hand, and a look in her eyes no one had ever seen before. Determined. Quiet. Dangerous. She made her way through the halls with purpose, past influencers posing for content, past billionaire guests sipping cocktails, past family members who didn't even glance up. She stopped outside the bridal suite. Inside, laughter. "I swear, if Emily ruins the aesthetic of just one wedding photo, I'll lose it," said Lila, the bride, her sister. "I still don't get why she's even invited," another voice added. Then Lila's voice again, loud and sharp. "She's useless. Honestly, if Mom didn't guilt me, I wouldn't have let her on board at all." Laughter. Emily didn't flinch. She just slipped a small USB from her coat pocket into the control panel beside the ballroom door. Then she turned and walked away, heading straight for the captain's deck. Emily had always been different. The girl who built drones in her garage while Lila walked red carpets. The one who tutored refugee children while her family vacationed in Mykonos. The one who turned her heartbreak and loneliness into code, developing an AI platform that silently rose in valuation until it was worth millions. She never bragged. Never demanded attention. But when her tech company was acquired by a global educational firm, she didn't take the money and run. She bought power. Quietly. One of her first acquisitions. The shipping company that leased the Luna Queen. She owned the very ship her sister was standing on. An hour before departure, Emily met with Captain Moreno. "You're not serious," he said, scanning the paperwork. "Canceling a billionaire's wedding cruise? There are politicians on board. Royalty. Tech moguls." Emily slid a second folder across. "Those guests will be compensated. With interest. But this ship isn't leaving." The captain leaned back, studying her. "Why?" She looked out at the horizon. "Because my silence made me invisible. But my silence also made me powerful. And tonight, I'm using that power, not to destroy a wedding, but to save a soul." The PA system cracks open the truth. At precisely 4:42 p.m., the guests heard a chime over the intercom. Then a voice, unfamiliar to many, calm and steady. "My name is Emily Carter. Most of you don't know me. That's because I was never meant to be seen." People stopped talking. Waiters froze. Lila's lipstick brush dropped from her hand. But I watched. I listened. And I waited. The ballroom's giant screens flickered on. Dozens of old family videos played, Lila pushing Emily aside as children, their parents brushing off Emily's achievements, Emily standing alone at events while everyone else toasted Lila. "You called me useless. But today, I remind you, quiet does not mean incapable. Kindness is not weakness. And being overlooked doesn't make you irrelevant. Gasps filled the room. I funded this ship. I built the world you're standing on. And now, I'm taking it back. Lila rushed to the ballroom in a fury. The cameras were rolling now, live feeds were broadcasting across private networks. You think this makes you a hero? She screamed. You're just jealous. You always were. Emily stepped onto the stage, face calm, voice firm. I loved you. I believed in you. Even when you didn't see me. But I won't let you build your empire on humiliation. Not mine. Not anyone's. The guests parted as the groom, Damon, stepped forward. I never saw her, he said, looking at Emily. But now I do. And I see what I missed. What we all missed. He took off his boutonniere, dropped it on the floor, and walked away from Lila, toward the exit. One by one, others followed. That night, under the starlit sky, Emily stood at the front of the ship alone. She didn't cry. She didn't celebrate. She just breathed. For the first time, she wasn't the supporting character in someone else's fairy tale. She was the author of her own. 6 months later. A small school opened on the coast of Haiti. The first of 50 funded by the Carter Initiative, founded by Emily Carter. Above the entrance hung a plaque. To the quiet ones. The kind ones. The ones they never saw coming. Never underestimate the silent soul in the room. They may be quietly building a world far stronger than the one that ignores them. And when they finally rise, they don't come to destroy. They come to rebuild.